ladies and gentlemen, you're watching RTB and this is Headlines, your weekly news program. Last Monday, the Prime Minister, Christophe Dabire, was at the National Assembly for his annual speech on the situation of the nation. During 7 hours, Mr. Dabire tried to show the progress made in the year 2019 in Burkina Faso and how the country addressed all the challenges, whether security, humanitarian, economy or social. All these topics were subject to discussion between the Prime Minister and the members of the Parliament. For the Prime Minister, the year 2019 has been very difficult for Burkina Faso, but the country has been resilient. Starting with the new coronavirus, he said the government took some measures to reduce its impact on the population. Last year, many terrorist attacks were perpetrated in many regions of the country, but for Christophe Dabire, the National Armed Forces experienced a rise in power with new strategies. Despite the difficult situation, the country noticed an economic growth of 5.7% in 2019. This rate is considered as one of the highest in West Africa thanks to the dynamism of the private sector. According to the Prime Minister, it means that our economy is competitive and trustworthy to the partners. He also affirmed that the government made an effort in realizing some infrastructure like roads. This is the second time for Christophe Dabire to address the National Assembly as Prime Minister to depict the situation of the nation. The COVID-19 pandemic is declining in Burkina Faso, according to the National Coordinator of the Response to the Pandemic. Dr. Brice Bikaba held his weekly press conference on Friday to give the latest news on the pandemic in the country. But we still need the commitment of all the population, Dr. Bikaba said in an interview recorded by Maxime Zongo. Please listen.
During this week in Burkina Faso, and we noticed that the number of cases are decreasing. As we noticed last week, this week, it was the same situation, and we noticed 8 cases of COVID-19. And the number of deaths are 52. We are 52 deaths in Burkina Faso, and about the number of cases, 814 cases of COVID-19 in Burkina Faso. We can notice that the number of cases are decreasing. That is a good thing because all the measures that we take about against these diseases are some successes. And we think that if we continue on this road, we will be able to tackle the COVID-19 in Burkina Faso next month. We are taking a number of measures in order to reduce the number of cases. As you know, during last week, we are increasing our capacity to detect the cases. All the suspected cases are submitted to the test of COVID-19, and all the travelers which come which come back in Burkina Faso, they are submitted to the test of COVID-19. This will permit us to reduce the risk of dissemination of COVID-19 and to control these diseases. We want to thank the population. We want to thank everyone, because as we know, we need the commitment of all the population in order to tackle this COVID-19 from Burkina Faso.
The pandemic of the COVID-19 has an important impact on the industry of cotton in Burkina Faso. At Bobo Dioulasso, 27,000 tons of cotton are still in the store of Sofitex, the national company of cotton industry. As you can see, much more are waiting to be exported.
Actuellement, nous avons loué des magasins.
We rent some stores for the period of April to August, and that will cost about 306 million of francs CFA. The business of cotton have slowed down in the global market because of the pandemic, and that causes a drop in the price of the material. This situation may have negative consequences on the coming campaign, causing the farmers and the cotton company to lose some money. JPIGO, an international non-governmental organization, is supporting Burkina Faso address the COVID-19. This NGO helps the country in training health workers to address the pandemic. Moreover, JPIGO made a donation of personal protection equipment to the health ministry. What motivated these organizations in his actions? The country manager answers to the questions of Umu Sise, our reporter. Listen.
This support from JPIGO, that is an affiliated to the John Hopkins University, is really to support the government of Burkina Faso effort to really address the COVID issue that we know was not planned at all. So JPIGO usually is supporting capacity building of provider through different programs in terms of infection control and prevention activities. But during the event of the COVID, we have to talk to our different donors that are mainly private donor, foundation, U.S. government agency to support us or to allow us to redirect some of the funding so that we can continue supporting provided through training, but also providing some personal protective equipment so that they can be more prepared to tackle the COVID issue. So you may ask how much the cost. It's about 168 million CFA money. I don't know exactly how much in dollar, but this is something that we can convert. And this support will continue as we still have some ongoing project through the capacity building, but also if it happens that we get additional donors who want to support, we will again continue to support the government of Burkina Faso.
This Sunday, Ramadan will be celebrated in a particular context due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and to make it safe, the Muslim leaders took some decision to be respected by the believers during the celebration, especially during public gathering for prayer. People must wear masks, wash their hands, and keep social distancing during the prayer. In addition, they are invited not to pay visit to each other as usual. All these measures are taken to prevent the spread of the disease. The Federation of Muslim Associations also gave some equipment to the member associations so they can put in practice all the decisions taken by the Federation. The Minister of Agriculture launched the rainy season campaign. This year, the department intends to boost the agricultural production with 5.6 million tons of cereals as an objective to achieve.
Il y a de très très grands défis à relever dans ce contexte parce que
it's a big challenge for us because in this context, no country will produce food to support another. We must focus on the local production. The head of the state gave us some instructions so we can meet the challenge. The pandemic will be an opportunity to intensify our production.
Une opportunité pour nous de pouvoir intensifier notre production.
The technical and financial partners are committed to support the country in farming. For this campaign, more than 9.3 billion CFA francs will be mobilized and invested in the agricultural production. To reach this objective, farmers are equipped with fertilizer and improved seeds. Tractors are also sold on credit to the farmers' associations to enable them boost the production. And that's all for this program. Thank you for watching. Take care of you and see you next time.